The weeks passed quickly, yet slowly. Each day a blend of wonder and exhaustion. Anya's morning started with a familiar wave of nausea, and David's quiet footsteps in the kitchen, preparing toast and ginger tea. "Still feel sick?" he asked. One morning, placing a tray on her lap as she sat propped in bed, Anya gave him a weak smile. "Like I've been on a roller coaster since 3 a.m. David brushed a lock of hair from her forehead and kissed it. "You're amazing. You know that, right?" she snorted softly. "Amazing and vomiting. Quite the combo," he grinned. "You're carrying our baby. You could throw up on my shoes, and I'd still worship the ground you walk on." Her eyes softened. "You're too good to be true sometimes." Later that week, they went to their second prenatal checkup. The clinic smelled faintly of antiseptic and lavender. Dr. Ellen, a warm middle-aged woman with laugh lines around her eyes, greeted them. "Well, Mama and Papa," she said cheerfully. "Let's see how our little bean is doing today." The cold gel spread across Anya's belly, and the machine came to life. David reached for her hand. They watched the monitor together, and there it was. Their baby. Slightly bigger now, the heartbeat loud and clear. "Can you hear that?" Anya whispered, a tear sliding down her cheek. David nodded, speechless. "Like music," he finally said. "That's the sound of everything we've built, becoming real." They left the clinic in a daze of joy, clutching a new image of the baby. That night, Anya lay on the couch, wrapped in a shawl, rubbing her belly thoughtfully. "Boy or girl?" she mused. David sat on the floor beside her, resting his head against her hip. "Doesn't matter. As long as they're like you, stubborn, smart, kind." She raised an eyebrow. "I hope they get your patience. I've seen you reboot your laptop 20 times before giving up." He chuckled. "True love means accepting each other's Wi-Fi rage." The days blurred into a pattern of growth and change. Anya's belly rounded with each passing week, and her cravings grew wilder. "David," she said one evening, staring at the ceiling, "I need mangoes." He looked up from his book. "It's December, love. There are no mangoes." Her face fell. He sighed, set the book down, and grabbed his keys. "Okay, I'll find something mango-flavored." 30 minutes later, he returned triumphantly with mango juice, mango yogurt, and a jar of mango chutney. Anya beamed. "You're magic." He knelt beside her. "No, I'm just a man in love with a hormonal goddess." But not every day was sweet. At 5 months, Anya had a scare. A sharp cramp that left her breathless in the middle of a grocery store. Karan rushed her to the hospital, panic evident in his trembling hands. Dr. Ellen examined her carefully and reassured them both. "False alarm. Sometimes the muscles stretch faster than expected, but everything's fine." Still, that night, David sat beside her bed, long after she'd fallen asleep, his fingers tracing small circles on her hand. "I can't lose either of you," he whispered into the darkness. When Anya stirred, he quickly wiped his tears. "Are you okay?" she murmured, eyes half closed. "I'm fine," he lied gently. "Just watching over my girls." She smiled and drifted back to sleep. Their relationship deepened with each passing month. There were silly fights too, over the correct way to fold baby clothes, or how many pillows she needed on the bed. 6, David, I need 6. One night, around her 7th month, Anya broke down in the bathroom, staring at her changing body. "I don't recognize myself," she whispered when he found her. He knelt beside her, pulling her into a gentle embrace. "I do. You're the woman I fell in love with. Only now you're also a mother. That makes you even more beautiful." Tears fell freely as she held on to him. "Will you still want me after this? When I'm tired and cranky, and my body's different, David looked at her with such tenderness, it hurt. Anya, I didn't marry a body. I married you, all of you, forever. And she believed him. In the final month, they barely slept. They painted the nursery a soft shade of yellow, arguing over whether to buy a rocking chair. Trust me, Anya said. We'll need it. David raised an eyebrow. You just want it to match your Instagram mood board. She laughed. Guilty. 1. Rainy afternoon. As the city grew quiet under a grey sky, Karen held her hand as they lay on the couch. Do you ever get scared? He asked softly. She nodded. All the time. He tightened his grip. Me too. But I'd walk through fire if it meant coming out the other side with you and our baby. Thunder rolled in the distance. She leaned her head on his chest. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be extraordinary. His first contraction hit at 3:42 a.m. on a Thursday. Anya bolted upright, clutching her belly, sweat beading on her forehead. David, she whispered at first. Then louder, David! He sprang from the bed as if jolted by electricity. What? What is it? Are you okay? She winced. I think it's time. He stared at her, panic and joy mixing in his face. You're sure? I'm sure, she said through clenched teeth. What followed was a blur. The hospital bag, half packed but missing the slippers. David trying to help her into her shoes, while she cursed under her breath. The car ride through nearly empty. Streets, her hand gripping the door handle. His voice shaky as he murmured encouragements. You've got this, Anya. Just a little more, okay? By 5:15 a.m., they were admitted. The fluorescent hospital lights were cold, but the warmth in Karen's eyes never left her side. Hours passed. David held her hand through every contraction, whispered stories to distract her, wiped sweat from her brow. At one point, when the pain was unbearable, she snapped. You did this to me! He laughed nervously. I know, I'm sorry, but it's going to be worth it. We're going to meet our baby. She cried, she screamed, she laughed deliriously. And finally, at 10:03 a.m., their daughter arrived with a loud cry, as if declaring herself to the world. Anya sobbed as they placed the baby on her chest. Tiny, warm, wrinkled, and perfect. David sat beside her, unable to look away. She's everything, he whispered. They named her Mira, after the poet Anya loved so much, whose verses had once brought them together during a college literature fest. Later, in the quiet of the recovery room, Karen sat with Mira in his arms while Anya slept. The baby blinked up at him with drowsy eyes. Her fingers curled around his thumb. I promise, he said softly, to be the best father I can be. I'll protect you, love you, and embarrass you at school with bad jokes. He looked at Anya. And I'll love your mother every day, in every way, even when she's mad at me for forgetting laundry or watching a movie without her. He leaned down, kissing Mira's forehead. You're our heartbeat. The days that followed were a mixture of bliss and chaos. Sleepless nights, diaper disasters, feedings every 2 hours, burp cloths draped like sashes of survival over David's shoulder. But amidst the exhaustion, there were stolen moments of wonder. Anya once caught David dancing in the living room at 2 a.m. Mira nestled against his chest, while he hummed an off-key lullaby. What are you doing? She whispered, half amused. She was crying. He whispered back. Now she's not, so I guess I'm magic. You're tired. I'm enchanted. Sometimes they both cried. From joy, from sleep deprivation, from fear of messing everything up. Once, at 4:17 a.m., Anya sat on the floor of the nursery, Mira screaming in her arms, tears pouring down her face. I don't know what she wants, she said helplessly when David came in. He knelt beside her, gently taking Mira and rocking her. The baby settled slowly, comforted by his steady rhythm. You're doing great, he whispered. We're learning. I feel like I'm failing. You're not. You're the bravest person I know. She leaned against him. I never thought love could be this hard. He kissed the top of her head. Or this worth it. Mira grew quickly, her eyes focused, her fingers exploring, her giggles lighting up rooms. At 3 months, she could recognize Karan's voice and would immediately smile at the sound of her mother's footsteps. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted their home in golden light, Anya sat on the balcony, Mira asleep against her chest. David brought her a cup of tea and sat beside her in silence. Do you miss the old days? She asked suddenly. Before everything changed, he sipped his tea thoughtfully. Sometimes. I miss sleeping. I miss random weekend getaways. I miss eating hot food. Anya laughed softly. Same. But then, he continued, I think about how I feel when she falls asleep in my arms. Or the way you look at her, like she's the moon and the stars. And I don't miss anything, because I've never felt this full before. Anya's heart swelled. You make it sound like poetry. He smiled. You made me love poetry. Remember? She nodded. College festival. You recited Robert Frost like you were proposing marriage. I was, he said, taking her hand. I just didn't know it yet. They sat there. As the sky darkened and the baby slept between the two people who would love her for all their lives. One night, months later, after Mira turned 1, Anya found a small box on her pillow. Inside was a necklace, a delicate gold chain with a tiny heart. Pendant. She turned to David, who stood nervously in the doorway. What's this for? She asked. He walked over and sat beside her. It's not for an occasion. It's for a feeling. She looked at him, puzzled. I wanted to thank you for everything, for carrying our child, for enduring the pain, for holding our world together when I didn't know how. Her eyes shimmered. You don't have to thank me. I do, because you gave me a family. You gave me a reason to become more than I was. And I want you to know, every time you feel overwhelmed, or lost, or tired, just touch this.